CCTV.
If you're still interested, I can give you an application and we will send out a due date. It will be probably within 3 weeks that will be due back to my office. And of course, this is very competitive, so if you take an application and you turn it in late, that's gonna be a problem, right? So if you're serious about this and you're committed to this, make sure you pay attention, and I'll make sure that you get an email and we make announcements on when that deadline would be. I'm thinking it's gonna be in about 3 weeks. All right, do you have any questions? Anything else I should be announcing at this part? Okay. All right, Dr. Suma.
Good morning. I'm feeling not so great, so that's why I'm going to use the microphone, and I apologize. I'm going to get a little rough sounding, but that's okay. We're going to power through. So Cougar Scholars, if you haven't heard of the program, is an opportunity for PCHS students to complete not only their high school diploma while at the high school, but also their associate's degree, which is a 2-year college level degree from New River Community College. The way you do that is through dual enrollment courses. Dual enrollment courses are high school courses and college courses all in the same class. You have to complete 61 college credits in order to complete your associate's degree. And that's why Ms. Miano says it's a highly accelerated academic program, because you are completing 30 plus college credits a year, where, yeah, I guess that's about right for a college student, but while you're also completing high school level courses and whatever else it is that you do in high school, extracurriculars, and your electives that you like to pursue. So some of those might be impacted. The first thing that's gonna cancel right out the gate is if you have not completed at least through Algebra 2 at the end of this year, you are not eligible for Cougar Scholars. And it's not to be punitive, it's because we have math courses that students have to take, and the prerequisite is you have to have had at least Algebra 2. So if you haven't done your Algebra 1, your geometry, and your Algebra 2 by this point, unfortunately there are no exceptions to the rule, because you're going to kick off with dual enrollment math starting next semester for most of you, the fall of your junior year. Let's just jump into it. Let's see what kind of classes you're taking. Now, just so that you know, we do offer, I'm not going to show you the big old list, I'll just put this, ta-da. We offer 77 transferable college credits, and these are open for all students. So if by chance you're not one of the up to 15 students selected for Cougar Scholars, you can still take dual enrollment courses, as many as you can fit in your schedule. Being a Cougar Scholar, we do, those schedules do take precedent, because we've made an agreement with a contract that we draft with those students to ensure to the best of our ability that we will get them the 61 credits that they need in order to get their associates. But there's 15 of them, and there's lots of seats in those classes. So if you're thinking at the end of this presentation, I don't really know, that's a lot of work, you don't have to be all or nothing. You can take whatever dual enrollment level fits you and fits your needs. You don't have to do Cougar Scholars if that's not really for you. But if you are a part of Cougar Scholars, it will start, I guess this summer. Yeah, you guys are sophomores, so this summer, this June, we would start our Summer Bridge program. And during that program, the up to 15, I'm going to keep saying that number, because we have the funds to support up to 15 students in each cohort in Governor School, Cougar Scholars, or some kind of combination of the two. So up to 15 students. We'll meet in our Summer Bridge program. It's a 2-week program. It's really just 8 days, but we'll say 2 week. You complete 2 1-credit college level courses. It is not a hard summer program. It is not crafted to be a hard summer program. In fact, I think it's a little too easy. It gives you this false sense of security of what college is going to be. The reason why we have the Summer Bridge program is to build your cohort, to build a sense of camaraderie with those 15 students that you're going to spend the next 2 years with, because they will be in almost all of your classes. They're going to be experiencing all the same academic struggles that you are. So if we can start that friendship early, before the struggles commence, then hopefully you all can rely on each other to support each other's academic needs. Come on in.
So I just want
is a parent. I wasn't really introduced, so I'm just going to go with this. I'm Ethan. I'm a senior Cougar Scholar and Governor School student. My sister is among you. But this, something that was a concern before for a couple students I wanted to clarify. If you have something going on over the summer and for some reason you cannot make the summer academy for this year, some students have been able to push it off to their senior year summer. Now, of course, then if a problem arises then as well, there's going to have to be something else figured out. But it's not, you don't have to show up to this one if you have a major thing. Now, if you wake up one morning and you say, man, I want ice cream today, I'm just not going to go, you're going to get in trouble. But this is like, I know, there was one kid who didn't apply last year because he was having an internship. Just because he had an internship then, he couldn't make this one, but he's going to apply, and he's probably going to be able to get into doing the summer academy next year. I also know that there were a couple who had to miss last year because of vacations. That's completely fine. They'll get to take it they took it their senior year summer. So, also, she is right, the classes are stupidly easy. I got 100 in both of them.
They're very easy. The idea is not to trip you up. It's to get you started on a good college GPA, but really it's to build the camaraderie amongst your cohort. And yes, depending on your needs, there are ways that we can adjust. We have had students who were not able to attend summer academy their junior year, and so then they double up the summer of their senior year on their senior course requirements and their junior course requirements. Yes, we can make those things happen. The dates are still TBD. Miss Atkinson was our PE teacher, but she's actually in Montgomery County now, so we're trying to find a new PE teacher. If you make Cougar Scholars, we will have the dates for you during those acceptance meetings. Okay, junior year is when it gets crazy. There are a series of classes that are non-negotiable that you have to take because of the associate's degree requirement. You have to take dual enrollment English with Ms. Smith. You have to take dual U.S. history with Ms. Cozart. You have a choice with your humanities fine arts elective. We have humanities with Ms. Tickle. If you're not sure what humanities is, it's like English meets history meets philosophy. It's some kind of combination of those things where you talk, Socrates and Plato and the meaning of life, and you sit in circles and have these deep conversations and write essays and things. Or you could take music appreciation with Mr. Fowler, which is kind of like the history of music, different music movements throughout history and how they've developed and changed culture. You have to take dual psychology with Ms. Yoder, and then you get a math choice. So there are 2 different math sequences, and you have to complete one of the 2. We have our quantitative reasoning, statistical reasoning route. That's sort of like what in the college realm they would probably call liberal arts math. It's the easier of the maths, but it really depends on what you're going to major in whenever you go to your 4-year institution. For example, if you were going to be a history teacher or something like that, you could do statistical reasoning. If you're going to do something in the STEM field, like an engineer or a doctor, you're probably going to want to do the pre-calc route, because that's what your 4-year colleges are going to be looking at. That pathway is a little longer. You do have to take 2 maths your junior year, pre-calc 1, pre-calc 2, and then you take your calculus your senior year. But that might be something that fits your needs for your major, whatever you're applying to whenever you leave high school. We will have those conversations when you're accepted into Cougar Scholars, just be aware. And then you'll notice that chemistry is listed here. You have to take chemistry in order to qualify for your lab maths that you would take your senior year. And then you have 2 open blocks. Can I get questions at the end? Is that okay? Will you be able to remember it? The list of courses, I don't think are on the application. But when you're accepted in, you would get a course of study. And actually the course, what you're looking at right now is the typical course of study. We actually have 2 courses of study. study. We have the Cougar Scholars, which you're pursuing an associate's degree of general studies. If you are a Cougar Scholar / Governor School student, you're going to be pursuing an associate's degree of science. So they're slightly different because there's way more math and science involved in Governor School, so that frees up some stuff. But we're looking at the non-Governor School pathway. It's not hugely different, but it is slightly different, so just be aware. And once you're accepted in, we're going to have one-on-one meetings with you and your parents and school counselors and career coach to figure out which courses are best for you. Okay? But you'll notice 6 of those 8 courses, or maybe 7 if you're doing pre-calc 1 and 2, are taken. So you have a lot of wiggle room in your schedule. Your courses are mapped out for you. I'm not saying that to scare you away, just to be realistic. So if you were doing something like cosmetology, this is not for you. There's no way you could fit in your cosmetology all 3 years and Cougar Scholars. It's just not possible. If you are a fine arts person and you take choir and band and theater, you're going to have to pick and choose. You're going to have to pick which ones you want to take because you're not going to be able to keep all of those in. Okay? So just be aware. Summer before senior year, you actually have to take 2 courses through New River because we currently don't have faculty to offer those courses to you. You have to take a public speaking class and an information technology class. They are asynchronous, so you take them all online. The public speaking one, we would gather together when possible, and you would record speeches with everyone in your cohort to submit. Our current seniors took that class from roughly May 22nd to July 22nd, so it was a big chunk of their summer, but some of them finished in like the first 2 weeks of the summer. They just knocked it out of the way. But if you have lots of vacations or whatever, you can work around it. It's definitely feasible, but you will have to do summer work for sure. And then senior year is a little bit similar to junior year. You're going to notice that you have to take your dual enrollment 12 with Miss Melton. You're going to have to take Bio 1 and Bio 2 with Miss Petzold. You're going to finish out whichever math pathway you took. So you're going to do your calc route or your statistical reasoning route, whichever one you chose. And then you're going to hit transfer electives, which you may or may not need. And that's where these conversations with the career coach and your counselors are really going to come in handy. Some of you that are in AP Euro right now, and you're going to go take that test in May, and you pass that test, well, you have 6 college credits right there. So you're not going to need a transfer elective. Some of you that are doing the pre-calc route, you took 9 credits of math, you might not need the transfer elective. But these are all conversations that you're going to have, and everybody's path is going to be slightly different. If by chance you do want to take these transfer electives, some things to keep in mind. Western Civ, anybody can take, and it's a fairly enjoyable course from what I hear. A lot of our students like taking that with Ms. Cozart. Our other 2 transfer electives do have prerequisites. So if you wanted to take criminal justice 2, you would have had to have taken criminal justice 1. So that either needs to be in your schedule now, or one of those open periods your junior year, you're going to need to take Crim 1, okay? Same thing for Teachers for Tomorrow. It has a prerequisite. This is the 2nd level. So you would need to take Teachers for Tomorrow 1 or whatever it's called. Intro to Teaching, Intro to Teachers for Tomorrow, Intro to Teaching class. And if you're not in that now, you would need to fit it in your junior year somewhere, okay? So everybody's schedule is going to be very, very tight. You're going to have not a lot of wiggle room. So if you're someone who likes to do lots of electives, or you have a very set career path and you're going to do a CTE completer, this might not work with you. And that's okay. We want to do whatever's best for you and your career, okay? And then after you do all that, about 2 weeks before you graduate from high school, you'll go to New River Community College, where you will graduate with your associate's degree before you even walk across the stage and get your high school diploma. So that's pretty cool. Any questions? Thank you. Yes.
So my sister has a friend who told me this, and she asked the university, and I don't know if I trust this completely, which is why I'm asking. She said that the university will still treat you like you're a freshman. Will they want you to enroll in a freshman class at a college after high school, or is it like you're a junior at the college?
I think it really depends on the the school. So he's asking, when you go to your four-year institution, will you still be treated as a freshman? Yes and no. You will still enroll as a first-year student because you've never been away at a college before. So yes, you are still technically, I guess, a freshman, but if it's a Virginia school, you're probably going to be in all junior courses, because where this is a community college degree from a Virginia community college, they have agreements with all the Virginia schools, UVA, James Madison, Tech, all of them, where they're going to accept those 61 credit hours, and the vast majority of the courses you take will be in your major content. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily give you credit for what you took. So, for example, you're going to go into pre-med, and they decide, you know what, we know you've had 8 credit hours in biology. We want you to take our biology. We'll give you 8 elective credits for your bio 1 and 2, but you still have to take this biology class with Dr. So-and-so. So yes, you'll get your credits, but there might be different combinations or different requirements that your schools have where they won't necessarily count that class. They'll give you the credit, but not necessarily the course, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Is there a better chance of getting in if you're in chemistry right now? You already went ahead and doubled up and you got your bio and chemistry out of the way. I don't know. I do know that when you apply, that the committee looks at rigor of schedule. So they look at, have you been pushing yourself to take the hardest level of courses? Have you been successful when you've tried those hardest level of courses? I don't know. I don't know if it would give you a leg up, but it's definitely cleared up your schedule. If you get in, you got a free block.
So you can build on your associate's degree to get your bachelor's?
Yes, so you build on your associate's degree to get your bachelor's, absolutely. So your associate's degree is like your freshman year and your sophomore year in college. A lot of it's just that like general studies kind of stuff. And then when you go away to wherever you're going to go away to, the next 2 years would be those 2 years for your bachelor's, yes. So you would have your bachelor's, in theory, 2 years instead of the 4, and it just saved you $10,000 plus, or mom and dad or whomever is footing the bill. Any other questions? Do you want to hear from Ethan? So Ethan is a part of our initial cohort. This is actually going to be third-year cohort, so we're still fairly new with this program. Ethan and his 12 pals were really our guinea pigs. We really didn't know what we were doing, but they were so wonderful and very communicative and let us know what worked and what didn't. And Ethan loves to speak to new Cougar scholars and Governor School students. So,
Hold on. Can everyone hear me just like? Okay.
Probably.
Oh, that makes sense.
How about you do the microphone?
Okay. Oh, right, because we're recording. So as she said, I'm Ethan. I'm a senior. I do both Cougar Scholars and Governor School. You'll hear about Governor School. Is it Wednesday? Maybe. Maybe Wednesday if snow doesn't keep us out. So I was one of the initial few to start Cougar Scholars. I just want to say it is an amazing opportunity to do it. It really allows you to challenge yourself academically, and you also get to see the rewards of that more than if you just took a couple of dual classes, because you get a physical degree. You can put up somewhere in your room that says, I have an associate's degree. And she said, you even get it before you graduate high school. Not many people get the opportunity. For me, the main thing is it helps me because I'm broke. I'm just kind of poor, and so it gives me the ability to get free college credits while I'm in high school, a huge amount. I think I'm saving around $10,000 to $15,000. I mean, like heck, I haven't held like more than like $1,000 in my entire life. And so now I have a whole ton of free credits that I could transfer to any institution in Virginia pretty much, and they're going to go towards something in that institution. So, I mean, I think this is really good, again, if you want to do something that's maybe a little more upper level, like CTE stuff. Sadly, it's kind of hard to work into your schedule. I haven't had that many problems working stuff into my schedule. I've done a lot of fine arts. I've done a lot of fun classes. The fun classes really help you through, and I don't think it depends on your class. Some classes are rigorous, some classes are not as rigorous. You have to sometimes work in a free block, or there's stuff like peer tutoring or service learning that gives you an opportunity to take care of your schoolwork during the school day, because a lot of classes are going to have you do homework. Some of those homeworks are, you look at something and you give a couple sentences on it and boom, you're done. And some of those are write an essay in a week. It just depends on the nature of the course. But you get to meet your fellow peers, and you really get to know them well. I didn't know most of them that well before I got to be a Cougar Scholar, and now I know them a whole lot more. Sadly, I'm not here to discuss it with any of them. I do know a few of you guys though, and I know a few of you guys know a few other guys, and y'all some smart cookies. Do you want to talk about Governor's School, Cougar Scholars? Okay, so I'm also doing the Governor's School. See it right here. Governor's School is a very, very difficult thing to do properly, mostly because you have to learn advanced math and science at 7 in the morning. Like right now, as a senior, I'm taking Calculus 2, Calculus-based Physics 2, and Biology 2. And some people do even more than me. Some people are taking like differential equations and human physiology and anatomy. It is a lot, but if you really want to prove yourself and you really have a fascination for science and mathematics, I think Governor's School is amazing, and it works really well with Governor's School Cougar Scholars, just because it frees up some of your schedule. I don't know if there's a course study, they have a course study on hand for that, but all of your math and science credits are already taken care of. All of your the transfer credits you need your senior year already taken care of, and it frees up a few more blocks. Of course, really, the main thing to go into Governor's School is you want to be coming out some sort of science or mathematics. If you want to become an engineer, or you want to become a pediatrician, or you just want to work in the medical field, Governor's School really helps. If you want to save money and just have a more rigorous academic schedule, Cougar Scholars is more your field. By a show of hands, does anyone previously know about the Governor's School or is interested in it? All right. That's a pretty good number. A lot of years it changes. Like when I first went in, we had 8 people in my group who went from Pulaski to the Governor's School. Next year we had 4. And that's one of the best parts of Governor's School. You get to meet a whole ton of people. Governor's School is not just for Pulaski kids. You also get to meet kids from Christiansburg High School, Auburn High School, Eastmont, Floyd, Narrows, Giles, George Wythe, Rural Retreat, Fort Chiswell, I think. You get to meet a lot of people. And you get to meet a lot of like-minded people who might want to do your same exact profession. It really opens your eyes as to who all is around you and what all opportunities everyone else has to learn along with you.
And I need a little bit of time at the end to talk about these activities.
Okay, well that was a good segue into talking about Cougar Scholars and Governor's School. As you guys are contemplating what you want to do next year, some of you may know I only want to apply for Cougar Scholars. Some of you may be interested in both programs like Governor's School and Cougar Scholars, and you are certainly welcome and able to do both. And some of you may decide you only want to do Governor's School. So all of those opportunities are available to you, and that's part of why we're meeting now, to give you information about each of those programs so you can make informed decisions about what you want to do, what will be the best fit. So with that said, we've taken care of the Cougar Scholars info session today. We have a Governor's School information session that is scheduled for next Wednesday at 12:20. That's a 2-hour early release day, so that is 4th block. It will go from 12:20 to 1:20.
Again, that is if we don't have weather. So if we are out of school that day, we will reschedule the information session, but we also have scheduled a tour of the governor's school, which is on the campus of NRCC. I want to go ahead and give out permission slips for that tour because it is not scheduled for next Wednesday, but the following Wednesday. And I think we will still keep that on the schedule even if we're not able to do the information session beforehand. So I have permission slips if you are interested to travel to the governor's school, which is not far at all. That field trip is Wednesday, February 26th. We will leave the high school about 9:45 and return by 2 o'clock. So we're going to be over there for a while. We're also going to be over there during lunch. So you can pack your lunch and bring it and eat it there. We also will provide bagged lunches from the cafeteria that we'll bring with us, so you'll have access to that. So this permission form needs to be returned by next Friday, or the first day we return from any winter weather we may get. So you have to, parent signs, and then you need to take the form to your teacher so they know that you'll be gone, and they also sign that they know you're going to be gone that day and that you understand you have to make up any work missed. Any questions about that? If you're interested in the governor's school info session and you have not signed up, there is a sign-up form. I think you should have it in your email. It's on Facebook, it's in Canvas, it's on the daily announcement, so you can still do that. Okay, so when you leave, if you want to go on the tour, get a blue paper. Miss Miano is going to talk about the orange papers. Yeah.
Okay, very good. I did want to talk to you about the application. The due date is March 7th. Okay, that's March 7th by the end of the day. What would you call that? 3:30 or 4:30? It won't matter. 3:30 by the end of the day, March 7th. When is the deadline?
March 7th.
Okay, so you bring it in March 8th, or, right. So this is really, really competitive. I can't stress that enough. I didn't realize myself how competitive this is and how important that you follow the steps. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to get 3 teacher recommendations. So you run out of here and you don't really read this and you get 3 teacher recommendations and you come back with 3 teacher recommendations that don't fit the criteria. So you could be ranked number 1, but you didn't follow directions. So pay attention to what we are asking for. We are asking for 3 teacher recommendations, 1 in math, 1 in English, and 1 academic of your choice. Academic of your choice means a core class.
So it could be another English teacher, it could be another math teacher, it could be science or social studies.
Okay? But it's not going to be an elective teacher, a CTE course teacher. It has to be in one of the 4 core subjects. All right? Does that make sense? I wanted to point that out because that right there could wipe you out of the process. Why? Because it's highly competitive and there's a maximum 15 seats. That's it, and all of you are competing for those seats. Yes?
Does it have to be a teacher from like a class you've already completed, or can it be a class we're in right now?
It's going to be a teacher that is going to give you a recommendation that you are the student with the ability, the drive, the commitment to participate in a program that is highly academically accelerated. Okay? So, you choose that teacher. If that teacher doesn't know you very well, you want someone that knows your drive, your academic drive, your commitment, your time management. You want someone that has seen that in their class. So these are due when? March 7th. By? Okay. You bring it in at 4 o'clock, it gets marked late. It's very competitive. Do you think if it's tied between you and someone that brought it in on time, who's going to win? Right. That just makes sense. But I think it's most important that you read every piece of what needs to happen. And then when you give it to your teachers, and I'll send something out that lets them know there's going to be requests for recommendations coming from students. You know, you tell them, I've written it on there, March 7th is the deadline. March 7th is the deadline. They are not going to give them back to you. They have to be returned to me. So you do your part, you get the information out to your teachers, and then you bug them until they get those turned in. All right? It's certainly not going to be us bugging them because we don't know who you gave them to. But if you only come back with 2 teacher recommendations, have you met the criteria for a Cougar Scholar?
No.
So every detail matters, and I just wanted to make sure that I shared that with you. I think that's it for me. I have the orange ones, Ms. Pratt has the blue ones, and if your name was not called for roll, let me write it down real quick, and then we'll send you on. You're getting ready to head right into the 3rd block, okay? So you guys can